Hey guys, I'm back with another tutorial. This time I wanted to keep it a bit simple for you guys so that you don't get too confused. We'll start simple with Glamrock Freddy. We want to achieve that super delicious soft lighting everyone likes. We'll start with adding a simple light and kicking up that radius a little past halfway. Shadow filter size and shadow attention should be relatively high for decent looking shadows. I also like to bump up shadow depth bias just because I've seen it gives shadows a nice crisp feel. Also, the horizontal field of view of your lights should be somewhat high to get more reach. And at this point we want to place the light behind him just to see what it looks like. Keep these settings up to the max and bam. Look at that. Not looking too shabby there, Freddy. Alright, cool. This is what we want, but we should bump up the brightness just a bit to give it a rim light feel. Yep, looking better. Copy it and let's carefully place it on the opposite side. The idea here is we keep copying it and placing it around Freddy, but each copy will have a higher FOV and will be dimmer than the previous copy. Magic number for FOV will be 150. This is probably my favorite amount of FOV for that soft feel. Though honestly speaking, just play around with it and you'll find a sweet spot that works for you. Remember guys, it never hurts to tweak the settings here and there. Just have fun with it. The more you go, the nicer it'll look. Take your time. The point isn't to rush, otherwise you'll probably make a couple mistakes here and there. Yeah, this might be a while. Feel free to speed up the video if you think it's too slow. Wow, that's looking very good. Alright, so this next light is the bounce light. We will place it underneath Freddy and disable the shadows so that we get more coverage. Keep your bounce relatively dim but high enough to notice it, despite the FOV. If it's a bit difficult to tell whether or not your bounce light is too bright, try grouping all your main lights and disable them temporarily, just to see the bounce light. Can't be too cluttered because then it gets messy. The last thing you want is to have so many lights and have to go through each one just to find a specific light. Alright, so ambient occlusion is not always needed, but in this case I'll just give a quick demo of what I usually do. Mess around with it because oftentimes you get better looking results with a certain ambient occlusion on some models, and even if you use the same settings, it may not look as good on other models. Alright, so I don't know if you guys see it, but I'm seeing too many grain particles near the eyes, and that's going to be a problem. Just gonna tweak the settings a little more, and hopefully that'll clear it up a bit.
Not just for daddy and not just for show. Listen, I'm keys to some finish alone. Friends more than meets the eye. See some pain in the darkness rise. Every time I feel this feeling.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I like it. Well, that ain't too bad. It's not gonna be perfect. Now let me show you something else. I'm going to use a different model to show you how even some models are picky about the way you light them. I guess I'll use Bonnie for this simple test, but you'll see that even though I was able to achieve soft lighting with Freddy, this Bonnie model won't exactly react the same way to it. Gonna scale this fella real quick, give me a second. Okay, so I'm going to enable the lights real quick. Now at first glance it doesn't look too bad. I think it actually looks somewhat realistic. But once you render it, looks terrible. Even if I move him around or scale him down, he won't look as good as Freddy. Going back to what I said, some models are picky about the way you light them. It's one of the many downsides to SFM, but you get used to it. Well, thanks for making it this far into the video. Anyways, I hope you guys learned something, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one.